We're on. Afternoon all. I want to share this afternoon a process that I'm going through right now in my construction company. So within our construction business, I have a procurement process, procurement procedure, the art of buying. So we're going to go into a project in a new town. So because I'm going to do that, I need an approach to bringing guys on in that new town to make sure that I get everything covered off. And I'm going to share with you our system, the system that we use to do that. Share screen. Share. So I'm going to run through this. There's three parts to it. So first of all, we source and find contractors in the evaluation form. Then we go through a recruitment process. But this is the piece of work I wanted to share today. So this is where I'm at. Where I'm at right now with this particular project. So we have a systemized approach. I hear people talk about systems in property, and I hear them talk about we've got to systemize this and we've got to systemize that. 9 times out of 10, people are just talking about processes and approach to stuff. Now, this is what a system actually looks like. So I'm going to start at the start point at the top. And if you follow the flow chart through there, so going off the previous two procedures I just showed you, we're going to select a subcontractor there. So the next question in there is that subcontractor approved, yes or no? So if it's no, you can see there that we're going to go down to the subcontractor evaluation, which is a further step in the process. If it's yes, we can carry on through. If the subcontractor is approved, we can then provide dates, specification for them to go there, price it up. So then we're into the subcontractor pricing process, which again is another system. So if I was to click on any of these boxes, it's going to take me to a subsystem beneath this one. It sounds a bit complicated, but it's not. It's really simple. So then the quote will come back from the subcontractor. Then got another question to come back. Is that quote that we've received? We got to now review that quote. Are the materials included? Yes or no? So if the materials are included, we've then got comparable pricing exercise to do. If they're not included, we need to prepare the material requisition schedule, which is, again, I click that's another form. And then we can establish monitoring material sign-off and stock check requirements. So we're then establishing what it is that I need to do next in terms of getting the gear to site. And you can see how this all maps out and all pans out. I'll just leave that up there a second in case you want to digest any of that. It's not going to let me zoom in any further. Oh, it is. There we go. That's big enough. Oh, that's big enough. And if you follow that process through, there's absolutely no reason why you should be getting what I hear more often than not is when we hear, well, we got shit trades or we got cowboy builders in. If that's happening to you, it's likely that you haven't followed the process or you haven't followed a system, a procedure such as this to be able to make sure that what you're doing and the thing that you're following has got parity across each of your projects. So I'm going to follow this through really simply with a guy that we've got straight through the process. So we went through our previous two procedures, our previous two processes, which was finding someone to actually send the inquiry to and then evaluating them. So what we've done is subcontractor selected. We've selected a contractor in another town that we've not worked with before. So they're new to us. They're new to working with us. Have we approved them? Yes, we have. So we've sent them over a start date. We've sent them over a specification. We're here now. And we've sent them over a pricing exercise. I was hoping to be able to highlight that. Yeah, I can. So I've provided them a date and a start date and a spec. So what's going to happen then is the subcontractor will bring back us a price. They're going to give us a price. The quote's then been received. Has it or hasn't it? So if it hasn't, we're going to follow them up with, are you still interested in pricing? At this point here, I hear a lot of people in property say, oh, nobody ever got back to me, or the builder never got back to me. And that's such a mistake. People are busy. People forget stuff. You know, you must follow them inquiries up, or you're burning through a potential provider for that service that you're looking for. So what has that quote been received? No, it hasn't. So we're going to follow that up with still interested in pricing. Ask that question. Are you still interested in pricing this project? We're going to get yes or no. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get yes. Sorry, I was busy. Sorry, I got tied up. Sorry, I didn't do this because of X, Y, or Z. Sorry, we've had fucking COVID and I'm homeschooling. Whatever that is. So again, we're just going to contact the subcontractor and chase that quote up. There we are now. Then we're going to go back, quote received again. So this system goes back around on itself. Okay, still interested in pricing? No, we're going to get feedback. Why are you not interested in pricing? Is it because we're a main contractor, you don't want to work in that way? You know, is it the program? Is it the rates that we've offered you? What is it? And then once we've got that feedback, do we now need to seek an alternate contractor to price? And then we're going to go back to the start of that system. But if we look here, obtain feedback, that feedback might be something that we can resolve. That's why it's important to ask it. Obtain feedback might be, listen, mate, I can't meet that start date, but I can start 3 days thereafter, which we might be able to work with if we look at juggling stuff around in the program. So to come back here, I'll go through what actually happened with this particular contractor that we've just onboarded. So the quote received, yes, it was. Was the materials included? Yes, they were. So they now go into the spreadsheet as a comparable. This is something else that people don't do. You've got to compare apples with apples. You might have seen a live I did on Sunday about this. So if I'm asking 2 plasterers to price up work and one comes back at £5 a metre and one comes back at £8 a metre, has one got gearing on, has one not? They've got to be comparable for you to know whether you can compare them against one another. So in this particular exercise, yes, we analyze the quote, and now we're going to go into here, negotiate price. A bit of a guidance note there, negotiate with subcontractor to reduce price. Now, I don't always do that. I don't always look for a reduction because the price that I've got might work. And if it does, I'm going to save time and everybody creating that win-win. Everybody's happy. If I'm happy with the price that I'm getting back and they're happy with the price that they're receiving, I'm just going to push them through because it's quicker. And we all know that time is money. So of those 3 prices that have come back, the subcontractor, has he been selected? Yes or no? If it's no, we're always going to feed back. Again, so many times do I hear of in the property space people engaging with builders and they don't advise the subby when they didn't win the work. And that's such a mistake to not do that. So if you're not advising the subby and you're just going to ghost them, they're never going to come back to you in the future. No one likes being ghosted, particularly tradesmen. You know, they don't get paid until the trowel's on the wall or the spanner's in the hand, whichever trade that you're operating with. So do advise that subby if they've not been successful. And why? Provide them with feedback. You might be more expensive. It might be that the start date was critical. And if they can't make that, there's an issue there. So we've got to look at this here. Subcontractor selected. If it was no, do tell them, do feedback. And then we're going, yes. So if the subcontractor was selected, which is what happened in this particular onboarding process, we're now going to send out the contract form and the terms and conditions. We've had these conversations, we've had dialogue with this particular guy, so they're expecting that. I would advise never to send out a contract cold because you might get ghosted from there forward. A lot of sole traders, a lot of tradesmen may not be comfortable with signing a contract. So I would use a slight shift in language here, and I would call that an agreement. It's the same thing, but you're just using a different word that's more amenable to someone that to a sole trader that might not be used to that type of talk. Has that been signed? So we're at this point now. We're here. This particular onboarding process, we're here now. We're just waiting for him to return the terms and conditions. And once that's come back, is it signed? Yes or no? So if it's a no, we're going to chase those contract documents. And that loop won't close until we get that back. So when it does come back, we're going to request the site-specific documents that we need in order for them to start on site. So they've signed the contract. Site-specific documents are now going to be your RAMs, which is risk assessments and method statements, for those that don't know. The exciting safety stuff, which I thankfully don't have to do. I don't know how to shrink this back down now. Yep. Is that right? So I hope that helped. That's our onboarding process in our construction company. If you want to know any more about this, either drop me a message or that thing tickering, whatever it's called, across the bottom there, my arrow's following it, but you can't see it, constructiontrainingacademy.com/boots on the ground, all hyphenated. Can you see it tickering? That is the thing. Get you started with this. We can help you out with this on that training. Hope that helped. I just wanted to share that as I was doing it. Drop me a message if you want to know any more about this, and how can help you further going through this year. Ciao.